Python uses exceptions as its primary method of handling errors. We can raise our own exceptions in the functions and modules that we write. Let's take a look at how we do that. We'll make a working copy of exceptions.py, call it exceptionsworking.py, and we'll go ahead and open our working copy. And here we have our simple print the lines of text from this file. Go ahead and run that. Now let's say that we wanted to write a function that will open a file and return its lines of text. It's a pretty easy little function. Call it read file, and we'll pass it a file name and open file name like that, and we'll return the read lines method from the file handle, and that's actually an iterator, and it'll allow us to do this. We can now get rid of that, and here we can say read file lines.txt. Save that and run it, and there it works exactly like we expect. Now, let's say that we misspell lines.txt here. We'll get our same error message that we got before, IO error, and of course we can handle that in a try block like this. And there we have our error handling, our exception catching, and there we get our error message like that. But let's say that we have another condition that we want to raise a different kind of an error for. We could check the file name, for example, using the ends with method of the string object to see if it ends with .text. And in that case, we'll just go ahead and do what we normally do, and else we're going to raise an exception. We're going to use the raise statement. We're going to raise a value error, and we're going to give it a little message. File name must end with .text. All right, and then give it a different kind of a name here. We save this and run it. Now we have an unhandled exception. We get exactly the same kind of error reporting that Python does when it raises its own exceptions. And you see, it gives us the trace back. It's just an unhandled exception. That's what Python does with an unhandled exception. And so we can handle that exception with a separate except value error as E, and we can print bad file name and the message. So now when we save it and run it, we get this nice little error message here. So that's how we raise an exception in Python. You'll notice it's very simple. We use the raise keyword and we give it the exception. Python has predefined a number of exceptions in its library, pretty much anything you are going to need. And on your screen is the URL where you can find that list with a lot of descriptions of them. And this way you don't need to define your own, and your programs will work more consistently with the rest of the Python universe by using the exception names that are already defined.